Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm sure you've probably heard me say this at least 27 times at this point on this channel, but I love a good bargain. I love saving money if possible. So ever since my passion for all things beauty related really sparked, which I would say was in like college, so maybe 5 or so years ago. That's weird. 5 years ago. I'm old. Anyways, that's pretty much when I started getting into YouTube and therefore makeup and blah 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 blah. The saga continues. So really since the beginning, I've just enjoyed finding drugstore alternatives to more expensive beauty products. However, I do occasionally like to splurge and treat myself because there are some products that are just worth it. You'll probably notice throughout this video that I tend to gravitate more towards the drugstore items, aka the cheaper ones. But that's really just because I honestly think if I don't have to spend more money, like if a product is honestly the same quality and the same effect or whatever as a more expensive one, like I'm not just gonna go out and buy the more expensive one because of the name on it, you know what I'm saying? So basically I'm just gonna be showing you some products that I personally would rather save on or that I think it's worth it to splurge on. So here we go! So I'm going to be talking about the Benefit POREfessional compared with the Maybelline Baby Skin. So I'm definitely going to have to go with the POREfessional on this one. And this size one that I got was actually a steal because, well, it wasn't like a steal necessarily, but the regular sized POREfessional I think is 22 ounces and this one is 44, and this was literally like $10 more than the regular one. So I think this one was $42, but I've honestly had it since last November and it's still like I probably have half of this still in here because you just use the tiniest little, like barely even a pea-sized amount every day. And it just will get me through to the next holiday season. There's definitely nothing wrong with the baby skin. I just see a more significant difference when I wear the POREfessional over the baby skin or literally anything else. It's just my favorite primer. It works wonders and is just such a good base for foundation, and it cancels out the pores like a dream, and I love it. So I think I might have already talked about this little comparison in a previous video, but whatever. So I'm going to be comparing the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And with this one, I am 100% going with the Maybelline. Honestly, I was so irritated when I got this, and within 2 weeks of purchasing it, it was starting to dry up. Now mind you, I still have it, and I still use it from time to time, but I just feel like it's not really putting anything on my face, or I just don't feel like it's picking up much in the tube, or I have to like scrape at the sides to get any product on the wand, and that irritates me. Like even in that first 2 weeks that I started noticing it was drying up, I noticed it wasn't going on as creamy, and I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? Anyways, so on to the beauty that is the Maybelline Fit Me. You can even see that even though this is almost empty, like I pull the wand out and it's still super, super creamy, and it goes on and just, it has amazing coverage and so much brightening power, and it is a dream. And I will probably never buy the NARS one again, not gonna lie to you. So for the next two, I don't actually have the higher end product on my person currently, but I have used said higher end product before, and I will still make my comparisons. So I'm going to be comparing the Anastasia Brow Wiz with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. Oh my lord. I cannot tell you how identical these products are. It infuriates me because not gonna lie, I got the Anastasia Brow Wiz because everyone and their mummy was talking about it and saying how wonderful it was, and I loved it. It was fantastic. But then freaking NYX came out with this guy, which is an exact replica. Like, I think I honestly read an article once that said something about the two products probably being manufactured in the same like warehouse or something like that, that they're essentially the same thing. However, this is $10 and the Brow Wiz is $26, $27, something like that. I can't do that! So the next comparison is going to be, shockingly enough, the Benefit Gimme Brow with the Essence Make Me Brow. These are honestly identical. The only difference here is the brush. Like the brush on the Brow Wiz is a little bit more pointed and a little bit teenier, but this is the same thing. I probably am a better color match for the Brow Wiz, I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, if there is that little of a difference between the two products, I'm always gonna go with the less expensive one because it just makes more sense to me. But not only do I love the Make Me Brow, I actually just started using this and it's pretty good. The color is a little too light and ashy for me, but it works. I almost more so just use it to set them, not really to add any color. But when I do want to add a little bit more color and a little bit more life to my brows, I always go for the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. I love this. I actually need to get a new one because as you can see, all of the writing is pretty much faded off. I've had this forever and it's probably super dried out, but I still use it all the time and it's my favorite. I would pretty much always rather invest and splurge on something skincare related and save more so in the makeup department. So I probably should have done a better job at preparing for this video and actually cleaned these makeup brushes, but I forgot to do that. So sorry, they're kind of gross looking, but you know, whatever. This is life, this is reality, okay? So some people might say that the next two are both in the drugstore umbrella, but one brand is definitely a lot less expensive than the other. So here we go. So I'm going to be talking about my two absolute favorite makeup brush brands, and that is e.l.f. and Real Techniques. Yay! Friends! And actually, I specifically pulled these 6 brushes out of my stash because, again, you can compare them side by side and say, oh, those are basically the same thing. Now these two, there's not like a radical price difference between them. I think the Real Techniques one is like maybe $2 or $3 more than the e.l.f. one, so whatever floats your boat, dude. But I definitely love both of these equal. These are like my main homies when it comes to foundation. Like I pretty much use these exclusively. I've been using this one a lot more recently because it's still relatively new to me, but for the last 2 years, literally all I have used for foundation is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and oh, I think this is called the e.l.f. Blending Brush. I'm not sure, but I'll find out. So these are both great. This one's a little less expensive. This one is honestly worth it. I think it's maybe like between $8 and $10, and I like that. So now I have these two buffing brushes, and let me tell you, I have been trying to get a hold of this freaking brush for years. I'm not kidding. Every single time I would go to Ulta, I would go straight to the Real Techniques section and look for the little set that this came in, and they were always out. Like every single Ulta that I would go into, they were always out of this, and I was so angry. And now I see it everywhere now that I have it. So basically, I like to use these for more lighter coverage face products. So like BB creams, or this is probably really good if you're blending out like a cream contour, which I have never tried, but it's probably good for that. And then the other two that I showed are probably more what I will go to for like applying foundation. So the next two are essentially twinsies, but I use them for very different things and I love them both equally. I use this small tapered brush from e.l.f. for setting my under eye concealer with powder. Beep, beep, beep. And then I'll usually use this one to actually blend out my concealer. I don't like to like streak and like drag it out, but really just like pack it in, and this kind of just fits in the under eye area nicely, so I like it. Could probably use this for like a crap ton of other things, like if you contour, that like fits into the hollows of the cheeks pretty well. So the last few products that I have to show, I don't have anything to compare them to. I just love them for what they are, and so I have a couple ones that I like to splurge on and a couple ones that I like to save on. We'll start with the saving ones. This right here is the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water, and I have tried a bunch of different cleansing waters, and by a bunch, I mean like maybe 1 or 2 others, but this one is so good. So I've never actually tried Bioderma because I don't have access to it here in America, but I'm gonna have to say, based on what I've heard from around the internet, that this is essentially the same thing as Bioderma. So mainly what I like to use this for is just to remove my eye makeup, so I'll put it on a cotton pad and just really like let it soak and just, yeah, everything off. It comes off like a dream, and it is just so gentle, and I really like it. So I think I came across this next product when I saw my girl, Kathleen Lights. She doesn't know who I am, but I just like really want to be friends with her, you know? I saw her talk about this in a pamper routine video once upon a time, and I was like, I need that in my life immediately. And it is the Aztec Secret Indian Healing Clay Mask. Holy mother. Basically, this darn thing makes me hate every other face mask that I've ever used because they just don't do anything in comparison. This literally, it's probably not gonna focus, but it says, feel your face pulsate, and it's not lying. Some people are a little like about it because it is really like powerful. I usually mix it with a little apple cider vinegar because when I use water it just gets kind of chunky and it doesn't mix very well. So the apple cider vinegar doesn't necessarily smell great, but it's worth it. I think I've heard people compare this to the Glam Glow mask, but I've never used that one, so I can't really make a comparison. But this is incredible. It's so deeply cleansing. This just pulls all the impurities out of your face. Literally, it like pulls them out to the surface, and it's amazing. Usually I like to follow up with like a super hydrating moisturizer, or a lot of times I'll use the Origins Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask to follow this up because it's so rich and hydrating, and this really, because it's pulling all that stuff out, it can kind of dry out your skin. So I like to just hydrate it, and it just honestly feels like I've gone to the spa. But this was $8 on Amazon. That's it. I think I forgot to say that earlier, which was like, so it's definitely in the save category. So this next product, I will definitely always repurchase it. And it is the NARS Smudgeproof Eyeshadow Base. This is the best. I used to hear people talk about this on YouTube all the time, and I was like, I can't afford to get NARS products. Are you kidding me? And then I realized that sometimes it's okay to treat yourself. Okay. I think I remember hearing Ingrid talk about this all the time because she has super oily skin like myself, and she would just rave about this product and how it just completely kept her eyeshadow intact all day. If I don't use this, I will almost always have that line, you know, that forms on your lid when you've been wearing eyeshadow all day, and it's not cute. I don't like it, and I don't want it there. But when I use this, honestly, my eyeshadow looks exactly the same right as I'm getting ready to go to bed and take my makeup off as it did when I put it on and walked out the door in the morning. It's freaking incredible. I think it's $25, and I think I've only had to repurchase this once, so it lasts pretty well. This is my first little tube of it, and I'm still working on it. I already bought a backup for it because I just know that I cannot without it. So yeah, I still probably have like another week or two left using it. I heart it. So I decided to save the best for last, aka my all-time favorite high-end product. It is the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. I love this so much. Let's just look at this, shall we? I just got this like 2 days ago, so it is untouched and so beautiful. Oh my gosh. This is probably the fourth one of these that I've bought. I have been using this for years and nothing else compares. I love the idea of the balm, you know, and how you just rub it and it kind of melts into in between your hands and turns into like an oil, and you just work it in and it breaks everything up and it takes all of your face makeup off, and I love that. I like going to bed feeling completely clean. Like I need that or I won't be able to sleep. So that's a thing. So that is gonna be it for my splurge versus save video. I hope you liked this idea. It's not very original, but I liked putting it together, and I hope it helps you in some way. If you know me at all, or if you've watched any single one of my videos, you have heard me say that I'm pretty cheap and I like to save money. But I definitely think that there are a few things that are worth treating yourself over because, you know, you work hard for the money, okay? So hard for it, honey. So treat yourself. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye! The ice cream man. Can you hear him? Do you hear the ice cream man, singing the songs of hungry men. It is the music of a people who need popsicles again. Such an idiot. Sorry.
What? Oh dear. Looks like you are a pirate eye patch on. wait, I have to get one. No.
Awesome.